One of Battlefield's most explosive maps is back. Operation Firestorm has been fully remastered for Battlefield 6. Known for its massive oil fields, erupting gas tanks, and an all-out vehicle warfare, this map defined chaos in Battlefield 3 and 4. Now it's returning with modern destruction, updated visuals, and a few big changes that have already sparking debate. When it came back in Battlefield 4, it cemented itself as a fan favorite. Seeing it again at Battlefield 6 isn't just nostalgia, it feels like a deliberate choice by DICE to connect with its franchise's roots. And just to clear up any confusion, we're talking about Operation Firestorm, the classic multiplayer map. Not Firestorm, the Battle Royale mode from Battlefield 5. Two very different things. Operation Firestorm is about oil refineries, pipelines, tanks, and jets. Pure Battlefield mayhem. Firestorm, the Battle Royale, was a completely separate experiment with a shrinking circle survival mode. If you played back in Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, you probably remember the chaos of pushing across those wide lanes, or the moment when a gas tank erupted and changed the fight instantly. It's nostalgia and a spectacle all rolled into one. First up, the visuals. Operation Firestorm has never looked sharper. The map has been rebuilt with modern lighting, improved textures, and much more detail across every corner of the battlefield. Flames rise from burning oil fields, smoke columns twist into the sky, explosions light up the horizon. The levels feel alive in a way that old versions simply couldn't achieve. And these changes don't just look good, they actually impact gameplay. Shadows are less safe to hide in, flames debris can block sight lines. Veterans are saying it feels familiar, yet brand new. Next, the layout tweaks. The core identity of Firestorm remains. You'll recognize the refinery towers, the sprawling pipelines, and the massive open fields. But there are key adjustments. Buildings now feature destructible walls, making the defenses less permanent. Lanes across the map have been reshaped to encourage more flanking and dynamic engagements. And rooftops, once a sniper's paradise, has been toned down. No longer can a single sniper completely lock down an objective. Now let's talk about destruction. This is where the remaster truly shines. The iconic gas tanks, they erupt into massive fireballs when destroyed, instantly reshaping the battlefield. Buildings collapse, forcing squads out of cover into new positions. It's just for show. It directly changes how each fight plays out. A secure stronghold can turn into rubble in seconds, leaving teams scrambling. It's given players serious Battlefield 4 vibes. Think of Siege of Shanghai skyscraper collapse, but it's in a desert refinery setting. Unpredictable, explosive, pure Battlefield. So how does it play? Operation Firestorm has always leaned into its vehicle warfare, and that hasn't changed. Tanks dominate the wide open fields, jets and helicopters rule the skies. This is Battlefield's combined arms formula, cranked to maximum. But infantry are still crucial. They're the ones capturing points, holding choke zones, and clearing entrenched enemies. If vehicles bring the raw power, infantry brings the precision. And when the two sides coordinate, infantry spotting for tanks, armor clearing paths for troops, that's when Firestorm delivers the chaos it's famous for. Now, what's the community saying? Return to Operation Firestorm has sparked excitement. Players are hyped for the visuals and the destruction and the nostalgia factor. But some concerns remain. A few players feel the remaster stripped away too much cover, making infantry feel more vulnerable. Others argue the vehicles could dominate to the point of frustration. And then there's the purists saying no remaster can capture the magic of the original Battlefield 3 firefights. On the other hand, plenty believe this version really balances the map for modern gameplay. As always, the Battlefield community is split, but at least everyone's talking about it. Players are already testing the best ways to use the destruction to their advantage. Do you blow up the gas tanks early to disrupt enemy pushes, or do you save them for a dramatic late game swing? Triggers a massive explosion can wipe out a squad, but it also gives away your position. The risk and reward make every decision feel tense. Compared to newer maps in Battlefield 6, Firestorm feels more open and chaotic. You can't just run and gun, you have to play smart with your squad. Infantry need cover, vehicles need support. Without teamwork, you get steamrolled. This is exactly the kind of gameplay that made Battlefield stand apart from other shooters. Firestorm is doubling down on it. In Battlefield 3, the map often felt a little flat visually. You had sand, concrete, and smoke, but not much variety. In Battlefield 6, the lighting changes everything. Explosions reflect off the metal towers, Fire glows against the desert night, and smoke clouds can actually hide movement. It's not just pretty, it makes Battlefield feel alive and dangerous. Operation Firestorm first appeared over a decade ago in Battlefield 3. Back then, its scale and industrial setting felt completely different from most urban maps. Players remember the long sight lines across pipelines, the massive refinery structures, and the endless tug of war between vehicles and infantry. Another big change players are noticing is the overall pacing on matches in Operation Firestorm. Back in Battlefield 3, rounds could drag out, teams would lock down lanes, and fights sometimes turned into long-range stalemates. Battlefield 6, the remaster feels much snappier. Objectives are tighter, destruction keeps the action moving, and squads are constantly being forced into new fights. Some players compared the classic Battlefield's roller coaster moments of all-out vehicle warfare, followed by sudden spikes of intense infantry combat, and because of the destructible cover, no two matches play out the same way. It's fast, chaotic, and feels like Battlefield should be. You might start the match in a massive tank push across open ground, then suddenly find yourself in a frantic infantry battle inside the refinery buildings. That mix of chaos and close quarters gives Firestorm a more dynamic flow. It feels less predictable, and unpredictability keeps every match fresh. And of course, it wouldn't be Battlefield without some secrets. Operation Firestorm in Battlefield 6 is already showing signs of hidden details. Players have reported graffiti tags around the refinery that reference older maps like Caspian Border and Gulf of Oman. Others claim to have heard odd background audio cues, distant radio chat. These little touches might not affect gameplay, but they add personality. They reward exploration, and they fuel the community's hunt for Easter eggs. Remember, Battlefield fans have always loved chasing hidden sharks, levolution triggers, and mysterious symbols, and Firestorm looks ready to continue that tradition. So that's Operation Firestorm in Battlefield 6, a fan favorite map rebuilt with new destruction, visual upgrades, and gameplay tweaks to fit today's Battlefield formula. The big question is, does this remaster elevate the legacy of Firestorm, or does it take away from what made it legendary? Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going to leave the video with some overview footage of Battlefield 4 Firestorm. I thought it was pretty cool how you could fly around, kind of like the Halo Forge, if you've ever done that. But I'll leave you guys with it. Thank you for watching, and enjoy.